Hey, so I just checked out the Wine Enthusiast's Top 100 Wines of 2025 for aging. I thought it would be a good idea to scour the list, find some wines that I am going to target, and we're going to get into it now. Hey, welcome back to Drinking It In. I thought it would be a good idea to go through this list and see if there were wines that were under $100 that I could potentially add to my cellar. There were a fair amount of possibilities, and here are the lucky 7, so to speak, that I am going to look for in stores near me. The first one is number 98 on the list. It's the 2022 L'École Yellow Jacket Cabernet Sauvignon. This comes in at 92 points and $55. The wine apparently buzzes with earthy forest floor and blueberry scone aromas. Well done on the tasting note with the yellow jacket and buzzing and blueberry scone aromas. I mean, there it is. So this wine is from Walla Walla, Washington. That's always fun to say and always fun to drink, so I'll be looking out for this one. Number 83, Travaglini 2019 Riserva Nebbiolo. 92 points, $76. Although Zacky's currently has it on sale for under $50 right now. I don't know what shipping's like, but that's pretty steep discount. The tasting note for this one includes cherries that are macerating in spirits, complemented by whole star anise, cinnamon, and clove spices. Wild herbs and drying red and blue flowers add complexity to the aromas. Damn. I mean, Nebbiolo can be really aromatic, so that combination is not necessarily so surprising, but it sounds really great. The Reserva wines tend to be made only in good vintage years. They're not necessarily made every year, so that's always something to consider when you see one of these on the shelves. This particular one is aged in Slovenian oak for 3 years and then another 8 to 10 months in the bottle before it was released. Now, it was rated 92 points here, at least with the Wine Enthusiast, and 98 points by James Suckling. You know those guys are always, they always come in high. So think of this, maybe take an average of the two, and you still have got a really, really cool wine, and that bottle shape just gets me every single time. Number 82 on the list, the 2018 Kanankop Cabernet Sauvignon from Stellenbosch, South Africa. This wine has delicate aromatic violets and licorice as captures the senses. I am seeing this winery appear on many lists and really have heard of them, and they've been making noise for several years, but I've never tasted any of the wines. I got to get a bottle of this, or at least one of the ones that was on one of the prior videos. I think it was the Wine Spectator list. I got to find a bottle of 3 and give these a taste. Number 48, the 2023 Ravenswood Teldeschi Vineyard Zinfandel. 94 points, $50. Now Ravenswood's ownership, try to say Ravenswood's. Ravenswood's ownership has changed hands a couple of times over the recent years, and they're now kind of getting back to some of their roots. Some of the special bottlings with their Zinfandel releases. This is something to keep an eye on, overall. See if you will get more of these single vineyard releases in the coming years. I think as I keep a closer eye on this, it'll be something where I'm less likely to just walk by the Ravenswood wines as I have done really for the past 5 years or so. The Teldeschi Vineyard is a coveted site in Sonoma. It's dry farmed. It's got old vines, and it's labeled as iconic in some of the literature that I read. I mean, that word is really overused in the world today, whether that's in wine or sports cards or sports as players go, but and I can't really confirm or deny it from experience from the perspective of this vineyard, but I assume there's something special about it, so let's go with it. Let's give it a try. This has concentrated dark fruit, black cherries, plums, a black pepper note, and cinnamon. Sounds like Zinfandel, something you should pay attention to. Don't forget, the Zinfandel can age for a while as well. Now, I know this is a video about their top 100 wines for aging, but when you see Zinfandel on the list, I feel like I have to reiterate the point that Zinfandel can age. Number 37, 2022 Fox Den Pinot Noir from the Russian River Valley in Sonoma. 94 points, $65. So this wine is richly extracted. Now, you would expect that from Pinot Noirs from the Russian River Valley, because that's generally the style. The wine has cherry, raspberry, cola spice, and some cedar shavings. I'm gonna get some cedar and start shaving it so I can really recognize that tasting note. But I am trying to drink some more Pinot Noir, and I do like that style every now and then. Number 20, the 2021 Piedrasassi Bien Nacido Syrah, 97 points for $44. Wow. Wow. So according to the note, this wine is fascinatingly vibrant and intensely pleasing today, but designed to last for decades. Now, Piedrasassi, not a producer that I am familiar with or that I've ever really heard of, but they sound like nice Italian folk. So I figured I'd add it to the list and get to know them. They produce wine and bread in the Central Coast of California, so that's pretty. I just love that combination. It really makes you think back into the early 1900s and the immigrants. This particular wine is made under the guidance of Sashi Morman. He's a well-known winemaker in California. I've seen his name on a number of wines, and again, you've got a great pedigree there. Plus, the Syrah and the Bien Nacido vineyard. It's a large vineyard with just a fabulous pedigree, and you've seen Bien Nacido on a number of offerings over the years. I'm sure of it if you've seen any of these California Syrah. On the palate, you're going to experience a full but silky wine experience that's packed with black and blue fruit, wild herbs, and that garrigue note that is often, or the wild herb garrigue note that is often used to describe wines from the southern Rhone Valley in France. Syrah, sort of like its native home out there. So, it's somewhat typical, but somewhat exciting. The last wine here that I'm going to focus on is number 4 on the list, 2021 Tredeberry Barolo Berry. 97 points, and it's $59. Now, I've never heard of this winery, but highly rated Barolo from Super Vintages for under $1 billion. Sign me up. I'm always going to be interested. Now, all kidding aside, 2021 is a great vintage for Barolo and Barbaresco. It's a great one to target for your cellar. But prices on Italian wines do seem to continue to rise. It's not. I feel like France is softening a little. Not Burgundy, but Bordeaux and some of the other parts of France. But Italy keeps creeping up. Now, Berry is in the Lamora part of Barolo. You've probably seen Lamora on a label, but not Berry. So speaking at least from my perspective, never seen Berry before. The site has a reputation for producing wines that have lifted aromatics and a nice fine structure. This one and the wines from this area are considered wines that are built to age. Some of the terms in the tasting note, notes of crushed flowers, sweet red fruit, and mint are mentioned. So that combination, you get little menthol notes in Barolo if you're lucky. This one's going to be a top priority for me to find. And the label, look at the label, it's gorgeous. I'm going to keep that up here for a little bit. So that is all that I have. Those are the 7 wines I'm going to be targeting from the Wine Enthusiast Top 100 Wines of 2025 for aging. Let me know how you use this list, or if you don't, might you consider doing so in the future? Or will you just rely on me to do these reports and give you some good ideas? I'm okay with that one too. Thank you for joining. Hey, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It would mean the world to me, especially in this holiday season. Why don't you give to others, right? Give others the subscription to Drinking It In. I'd love it. I'd love you for it. I'll talk to you soon.